Hey adventure, and welcome to the quest of blogging. And today we are talking about paper, pen and wireframes. I know, it sounded pretty cool, I came up with it myself. But before we jump into wireframes, I would like to share an experience I had today in the morning. On my morning walk with my dog, it was raining so hard that at some point it didn't really matter if I stepped into a puddle or not. Frankly, it didn't matter for my dog anymore as well, since he was just walking in puddles. Because it was just so wet, It was an interesting experience, and it didn't happen for a long time. So, wanted to share that, but now that moment is over, let's jump into wireframes. So, what's a wireframe? A wireframe is a rough draft of a website or an app. It has basic structure and layout of a website. Well, actually, in our case, it will be of a web page. And there are three types of wireframes. We have low fidelity, mid fidelity, and high fidelity wireframes. Low fidelity wireframes don't have proper typography, placeholder images, or spacing. They might not be even up to scale. Actually, they're not up to scale. They're used mostly for brainstorming, which is really, really good when you need to come up with ideas or solutions fast. Then we have mid-fidelity wireframes. That's when you already have some sort of placeholder images, proper spacing, text, but it's still not the end product. So you still might not have color palette available. And then there is high fidelity wireframes. That's the wireframe you would give to a developer to build a web page. And high fidelity wireframes would have colors. It's basically as close to the final product as possible. Colors, icons, text, images, everything is there. And right now in this video, we are talking about paper wireframes. And there are pros and cons, of course, as to everything in life, I guess. But let's talk about cons because I'm quite confident in paper wireframes. Pros. So cons. Number one, they are not accurate. For example, this is the paper wireframe I have, and well, as you see, this is my computer screen, right? And that's the sketch I made of a page. And well, it's not accurate. And so there is no proper spacing, not even text or images. You just could basically draw a line instead of text, something like that. And number two is that it's not digital, so it's not that easy to share paper sketch. So those are two honest cons, in my opinion. But let's jump to pros, because again, this video is titled Why You Should Use Paper Sketches and, well, wireframes. And pros, number one. Paper sketches have really small learning curve, so it's rather easy to start doing them. All you need is paper and a pen, and you can just go at it. So you don't need to download any software, you don't need to Google how to use certain tools. You can just start basically the moment you have pen in your hand and paper somewhere where you can draw on it. Number two, pen and paper is really flexible. And by flexible, I mean that, well, number one, if you don't really like something, you can just cross over it. You can draw more. You can, I don't know, just draw on the other side of the paper. And another flexibility option that I personally enjoy quite a bit is that you can do it virtually anywhere. You can do it while traveling, you can do it while playing Dagger Heart, for example, if your turn is taking really long time to come around, or D&D, because, well, sometimes the combat can take minutes, many minutes. or you can do it while eating. Frankly, you can do it while you're in the toilet. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. You can do this anywhere. Number 3, you can do a lot of these sketches in a relatively short period of time. So basically, you start and you don't really have to stop, of course, but you can just keep going. So you can think of new designs, new ideas as you go, as you draw, which is a really big plus. And number 4, one of the biggest things I think as well is there is no pressure. You can just, you draw, and then if you don't like something, it's okay. You can redraw, you can take new paper, and then you can come up with a new idea. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's the whole, I guess, concept of, well, not the whole concept, but a really big part of it. It's just, you just get the idea, you simply brainstorm, and you get it here, ready. And now, let's talk about why should you use wireframes and sketching. Well, one of the things about paper wireframes, and chances are, if you're watching this video, perhaps you are building your blog or website with WordPress and Squarespace, or Squarespace. In my case, I design WordPress templates, and my websites are built with WordPress. And those tools are created to make website building as easy as possible. So you don't really need to design anything beforehand at all, especially when you're creating your own blog, for example, which is wonderful. So when you start your, when you decide to buy a template, and then someone who created the template already thought of everything. They created the paper wireframe, they created a digital wireframe, they made it responsive, they thought of things. And this is not to say that I'm about to publish my first WordPress template, you know, but all right. Outside of that, someone already thought about it. So WordPress templates are already built with the mind that they can just go. You can just publish, you can change text, colors. You don't even have to change the colors. You just change the text and you publish a template. But a good thing about being able to sketch quickly on paper is if there is something you want to change. For example, you have a service, or you offer 2 services at the moment, but you add a third one, but you're not sure where to add that box. Should you add one more call to action button in the header of your front page? And on the paper, you could see how it could look like. For example, what if then you end up having 3 call to action buttons on in your header, and you just see that it's doesn't really work. It's perhaps looks rather confusing. Or, for example, you're not sure what color to use there, dark, light. You could just sketch it on paper and see. And actually, I would like to show you. So I keep showing this paper, and it's from my book blog that I recently published. And I will just make my shelf like this. So this is the page, the 2025 Reading Challenge page. And right now it looks like this. So I basically just copy pasted the list of books I have in my Google Drive here. And I was actually already told that it's not exactly accurate. I have an accidental double here, but it will be changed. But basically, in order to change this page, what I did was simply brainstorm an idea on my paper. So, for example, here we have the first paragraph, like sort of entrance to the challenge, and then the list. But I don't really like how it looks, So in here, I'll make myself bigger again. So what do I have? The paper, it's not really, it doesn't really show. But yes, basically I would have a header, then I would have the list titles, and then I would have categories, I would have what I currently read, and latest posts. So that's my idea at the moment, and I will see how it works. But I basically want this page to be part of the website, of the ecosystem, not just like a random list of books I read, or I might not even read according to them. To the paragraph I have where I keep editing this list, I guess it's still not exactly final. You know, this is why I wanted to talk about pen and paper and wireframing. I think it's important to be able to redesign things that you don't like on your website, especially if you do it yourself and if you don't have anyone else to do it for you. And I think it's important to know that you have options, that you don't have to really learn or to buy more tools. You can just do it this way. It's not perfect. It's not the best way as well to jump just from paper straight to WordPress, for example. But it's still an option that you have. And I don't think it's the worst option out there. For example, if you need to redesign a page, or you want to redesign a page, but you don't know how to use Figma, even though Figma is a really, I think it's easy tool to learn, much easier, well, in my opinion, much easier than Adobe, but that's another point. I think it's important to know that you can do paper and pen, and then just go with it. But yeah, I think my outro here is just I can keep going and going about it, you know, but that's the end of my video. I have new videos coming on Tuesdays and Fridays. If you have any questions or comments, please write in the comments of this video, and I will see you next.